Okay, there's some construction going on outside my house, I think. So I guess apologies to the listeners if you hear anything.
Yes, if you hear anything, it's definitely
Okay.
Bankole's his construction and not me
Yeah,
doing my
it's definitely. Don't
nails.
worry, I'll take.
Not me doing my nails in the corner at all.
This is a hell of a multitasking podcast
This
that
is
we are.
Tinubu's economy. We have to multitask.
That's fair. Okay. Quick warm up question before we start because I was thinking about this literally the other day, and I'll tell you guys why I was thinking about it.
Okay.
Who is your current TV crush?
Oh, Tom Ripley.
Oh, okay.
100%. Andrew
Andrew
Scott has
Scott.
been the love of my life for a hot minute. So Ripley was like an homage to our love story. I mean, yeah, he was doing what he was
Oh
doing,
no,
but it's cute.
yeah, you're quick with that. That's good. Fair enough. Kachi.
I'm currently watching House of Cards, so Robin Wright.
Fair.
That's a good one.
Fair. Okay. That's good. I thought you were gonna say Nicole Kidman in what do you call it?
No, not yet.
Expert. Yeah.
The frantic.
It's funny because I was thinking of the question and then I saw you.
Frantic.
I haven't
I still haven't
finished.
seen.
Psychotic white
seen
lady.
Experts.
It's like the third time it's been white lady on the verge.
It's a lot. always on the verge. Well, I am catching up on. No spoilers. I'm catching up on Shogun.
No spoilers.
I was watching it and I was like, I was like, oh, I think I might be in love with Mariko Sama, and I was like, and I saw why. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, yeah. That's right now. That's my current TV crush. Yeah, Kachi, go watch Shogun. I'm behind of it, which is kind of embarrassing.
I'm literally
considering
just on the pilot.
podcast I have, but yeah,
just on the pilot. Everybody,
okay.
I was trying to save it.
This is.
I was trying to save
everybody.
it.
Everybody has tuned off. Everyone listening to this came to listen to us talk about Sympathizers. Like, I can't even trust their opinions.
No.
They've watched like a combined 5 episodes of Shogun between them. Everybody has just stopped listening to the episode right now.
Don't doubt us.
Okay, are we good to talk about Vietnamese?
Mm-hmm.
The Vietnamese?
It's one hell of a way to put it.
Okay. Birds, flowers, fuck off. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast, and welcome to this joyous longevity party. Today we're discussing episode 3 of HBO's The Sympathizer, and joining me, guys, they are whoever they need to be, but today they are just spinach and broccoli. It's Kachi and Tamara. Welcome back.
Shotgun broccoli,
the most incredible children names. That's therapy. He's just signed up. Well, I guess now they have more reasons to be in therapy now. How are you guys doing? We're going to talk about Sympathizer.
I'm ready.
Everyone's spirits up. Okay, that's good. We'll just go straight into it because Kachi, you were not here last week when we discussed episode 2 and part of episode 1. So I guess I'll start with the same question I asked Tamara last week. What is your knowledge level of both, I guess, the war in Vietnam and also like the book that this show is based on?
I don't know anything about it. I never read
it. Okay, so we're all just in the same boat. That's good.
I think I have a good. I think I'm above average. I know more than most
What
people.
about the war in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess you're the highest out of the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did small research before the episode. Episode 1.
Ideologically, what side are you on then? Viet Cong or the South?
Viet Cong. The guys. Okay, wait. So the northern guys wanted to stay, and the southern guys.
The northern guys were like the communist backed.
Yeah. The northern guys were the communists, and the southern guys were the French and American. Backed guys. Yeah.
Do you call them the bad guys?
They were the bad
French.
Guys.
French, yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking. I'm just asking what he said. I'm just asking what he said. Oh, the America is always the bad guy. Okay, so episode 3 is titled Love It or Live It, written by creators Park Chan-wook and Don McKellar and Mark Richard, and is directed by Park Chan-wook again. I think this is the last episode he directs for the season.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I'll
he
start with
did
you again,
just
Kachi. Yeah, he did 3, and then Fernando Mireles, who did Sugar, does 4, and then someone else does the last 3. Kachi, you weren't here last week, like I said.
yeah.
Where are you on board in this show? Like, now you've watched 3 episodes. Are you loving it? Are you
Mhm.
liking it? Are you What were your
Yeah,
thoughts?
definitely. Episode one was slower than I expected, but I think
Until it wasn't.
episode episode two picked up from where they landed in America, settling in, and episode 2 as well. So yeah, so far so good.
What are your thoughts on? What are your general thoughts on episode 3 before we go into like plot specific thoughts? Like
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
your
Episode
like.
3 was really them trying to discover who the spies, and
Mhm.
well, not really discover, just trying to pin it on someone, because we know who the spy is, but he's
Who know
trying
they
to
know who? Yeah, he knows who
yeah,
the spy is.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he's trying to cover himself and see what he can do. And so yeah, I really
Mhm.
enjoyed this episode. I think it was really well written.
Tamara,
Yes, dear.
MTN issues aside, what
I
are your thoughts on? What are your general thoughts on this episode?
I think so. I've been in between. I haven't been sure how to feel. I've been like, for episode 3 now, I'm on board. I understand. Think
Okay.
the presentation of, I think it's a basic spy story. Double agent. Oh, is he gonna basic spy story? But the presentation is mad. Some of the shots in this episode
The presentation
is, and
immaculate.
Yeah,
I
the
found
shots,
it
Presentation is
the shots,
is
immaculate.
the
immaculate, but
shots
then
and the
it's not.
transitions.
Some of the transitions, especially in episode 1 and 2, I didn't think they were most, like, stylistically they were so different. It was a bit jarring. But then now I'm just here for the ride. I'm like,
Okay.
let's go. Like, and now I understand what you guys are doing. I know what you are saying to me. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm not a fan.
I think from the little I know about Park Chan-wook's directing, I think that's the kind of I mean, it's sad that he's not going to be the rest of the season, but that's kind of the vibe you
He's
need
not
to
even
go
doing the
in, because like he
finale.
does some transitions that you're like, no, he's not. I
Oh,
mean, he's obviously he wrote all the episodes. He's like supervising all the episodes. So like he's obviously, it's not as if he
his
checked out and
parts,
went
but
back to South
yeah,
Korea,
yeah.
but like but like the actual directing, he wasn't involved. But like, to be fair, like the guys that are coming on are not like, they're not straightforward directors. Like Fernando Mireles was doing some insane things on Sugar. I can't remember his name now, but the guy doing the last 3, he did this the Jude Law, Naomi Harris HBO show from like, was it last year or 2 years ago, which was in itself just a bonkers experiment.
What
I think it
was
was
that?
One Day or
Fernando,
something.
Fernando did City of God,
City
right?
of God, yeah. Fernando is City of
Yeah,
God, yeah.
yeah, he did City of
I
God.
can't remember the name of the guy that did the last 3, but like he did the Jude Law, Naomi Harris show, like I said, from 2 years ago, which was just a weird, confused. So like these guys are not, they are weird in themselves. But like,
Mm.
yeah, Park Chan-wook is like, his transitions are just like, the word is just like cool. That's it's not what to put it. Like, it doesn't make sense, and you know that he has thought about it like before even shooting. It's not something that came up in the editing room. Like I can't remember. There was a shot he did in what do they call it? The show I'm talking about, Florence Pugh. I don't know why it just left my head now.
Oh God,
Florence Pugh as Skarsgård.
I can't remember what it's called.
But the spy show, I mentioned it last week. But like, they're just shots that he basically, yeah, his edits are incredible. But yeah, my general thought, I guess, of the season is, not the season, rather this episode. I'm still on board, but I feel like I'm not. How do I put this? I'm not in first class. I'm not
They've not
like,
yet given me
I'm not leading the train.
the full
Yeah,
style
There's something that is missing for me. And again, I don't know if it's the way I watched episode 3. Maybe I was a bit like disoriented or whatever.
And how did
Like,
you
I'm going to try
watch
to
it?
watch episode 4 in like more optimal conditions. I think I was just like tired or
Yeah.
rushing or something. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I need to get this done for the recording. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I was like, it was mostly in the first half. Let me say this. Once they go to kill the major, and let's go to plot now.
Mm.
From then on to the end of the episode, because it goes from there to like the egg thing, and then like the funeral, and then RDJ. So like from then on, I think it was the first part just felt a bit too slow for me, and
I
I don't
was a
know.
little.
Maybe I'm like, again, maybe it was how I was watching it, but like I was like, I'm still on board 100%. Even if I wasn't doing a show on this, I would still watch the show to the end. Boy, it was just like, I was just like, I will not be first in line to defend it.
Yeah, like
Mm.
I'd wait for
I'm
it
seeing
all
a
to
lot
come
less
out,
of. I'm still.
and
Yeah, like
then
I'll be on the picket fence. I'll be on the
mm,
picket line, but I would not be like the one shouting the loudest because I'm still on
mm,
board, but not
Yeah,
that high.
I'm
Kachi, what are
seeing
you
it.
saying?
I'm
You're
seeing it.
saying,
I'm seeing a lot less of Sandra Oh than I expected.
but they said from the beginning now that
yeah, I mean,
she's
I
not
get
really. Is she a main character?
supporting
She's
character.
supporting now, yeah.
No, she's definitely a
Mm.
supporting character. I
She's
mean, I
definitely
think
supporting.
Mm.
like honestly, to be honest, you're probably seeing as much of her as much of maybe even Claude. Like
I
obviously, just
think we
because
see
RGJ
Claude
is playing
more.
multiple characters, so we see him more in an episode.
I think we
Like
generally
when
see
we
Claude
Definitely.
saw
more.
Claude. Okay, episode 3. Apart from, I guess they had that whole like council
Final
of
scene where
RDJs,
he's
but before then it was
Hmm.
like
yeah.
two scenes. It was the
Multiverse of
one on the road and the
RDG.
one at the funeral. And then okay, let's go. So let's go into the plot. I'll give a very quick recap of the plot. So when we left off episode 2, the captain and Bon uh thinking, or rather planning on how to kill the major, and they spend the first of this episode doing recon on Major One. The captain is still hesitant to kill him because, spoiler alert, is an innocent person. But Bon is fully on board, and Bon reveals that he was a secret assassin back in Vietnam. They eventually decide that they're going to kill the major under the disguise of the 4th of July celebrations, and then they managed to do it, albeit quite clumsily. It felt like a Fargo scene at points. After the major's funeral, Claude introduces the captain to his council of evil white men, or the League of RDJs, whichever you want to go with. And here we get the full face. In my opinion, it's like the full face of the American institution. Like you get all sides. You get the politics side. You get the spycraft side. You get entertainment, you get academia, and like obviously for the context of this show, they all have the same face, right? Which is RDJ.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, the only part that is actually missing is like maybe the capitalist, but I think the politician even covered that because it was
Exactly,
like
covers it
down
too.
with communism and up with capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like you get this full face of the American institution, and like they all have their varying levels of racism and microaggressions. Some are like um subversive, or not subversive, sorry. Some are like subtle in terms of like the professor saying Oriental and Occidental, and some are quite straightforward, like the filmmaker just being like, "Yeah, you're a bit diluted. You're half." So like so I like that. I like
Do you know how wild that is
yeah.
to tell
So
somebody?
yeah, so that's kind of the it, it it's a lot.
You look a
It's a lot.
little
It's a lot, but that's kind of it's like
umbrella.
you feel a bit diluted. You're not full. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys want to start with? Should we start with? I guess for me, the part that kicked off the episode for me was the murder or
Yeah.
the assassination attempt, stroke assassination. I just really like that. I think in terms of we're talking about filmmaking, I think the moment he like pulls out and the whole scene just plays, where you can see one's mom up there and then everything's happening below.
That was
It's
really
like a
cool.
stage play,
Yeah.
and like it was just yeah, it was just really
Yeah.
beautiful to see and everything. And then he obviously kills one eventually and frames it as a racist attack by putting the whole "America Live It
The
or Love It"
sticker. Yeah.
sticker on him. Yeah.
For a minute, I wanted
Um.
to feel bad for him because it seemed like he was just this guy that was happy to be in America and blah blah blah. And then I remember that guy left his child to die.
uh-huh.
He left his kid to die, and I was like, kill him, kill him. Get rid of him. He's all right.
He did.
Left his kid to bring his
Wait.
mom.
Wait. Actually, wait.
It's not
So,
the
and his
same
wife
guy.
wasn't pregnant when they left.
No, he had a choice between
I think it's
Yeah.
bringing
the
his
same.
mom or his kid, and he said, "You can have another kid. You cannot have another mother."
He brought. Yeah,
But,
he brought
so
his mom.
are they implying that it's been a year because he has new kids?
Maybe.
Maybe not a year, but I think some time has passed.
I don't know if she was
No,
pregnant.
but
They
that's
didn't
what,
really
I can't
show
remember
her.
if
They
his
just
wife was
showed like
pregnant when
her
they left.
head. I just remember the scene when the mom was like, "I don't want to come here."
Yeah, maybe
So I don't
because
know.
we're all agreed that it's the same
I
person, right?
think
It's
it's
the
the
same
same
man.
person. Or we're having a
Yeah,
wildly
yeah,
racist
it
I'm
is
remix
pretty
because he
here.
brought
sure.
his
I'm pretty sure
mom.
it's Yeah, yeah, that would be quite breaking up the fourth wall, considering the show we're talking about. No,
Now it's the
I do think that. You know what? I will go back. I will go back and check, and if it's not the same person, I'll edit it out because we cannot
But I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure
we
it is.
cannot destroy
now it
our
is the
reps
two.
just so quickly. But yeah, no, like even if it isn't, but like, the point is still remains that, like, yeah, that whole shot of, you're right. I still feel bad for him
Mhm.
because he is being falsely accused. I'm falsely framed.
I feel, you left your kid. And then I now remembered
He
the
is
side he
though.
was on in the first place. No, goodbye to you, sir. Like, I feel a little bad. But,
Yeah. Yeah. So one of my notes that I have, the first note I have here is about how the captain is like racking up a lot of guilt, and I'm kind of wondering, like, when would that eventually come to a head? When would that, like, eventually, what would that eventually do to his psyche? Because, like, you have the guilt from killing one, right?
mm-hmm,
If we see that manifest at the end of the episode when he
mm-hmm,
sees one's face,
mm-hmm,
disfigured face, you also have the guilt from the egg guy who was his comrade. They were on the same side,
mm-hmm.
right? You have the woman who was in the theater in episode one, and I'm just like, he's somehow racking up guilt from both sides, which I guess is the thing about being a spy, double agent, because eventually you're like, you have to betray your own people, like
Once.
your own supporters, to
Yeah.
keep your cover, but at the same time you're also killing innocent people on the other
Yeah.
side. So I'm just wondering, like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's a lot for the captain to go through, and I hope it's not something that, like, will be disregarded. I hope it's something that is touched upon, because, like, yeah,
I mean, the way they
what
ended it, I
it
feel
must
like
be quite emotionally draining to.
they're gonna get into it a little bit. The way they show the physical manifestation,
Hmm.
that, yeah, this guy is not he's not just moving past this, like, it's gonna sit with him.
Yeah,
So I think they'll do
yeah, and,
something, right?
like, obviously we said we no, yeah, I hope so. I would see, surprising if they don't. Um, but yeah, we mentioned last week when it was just Tamara and I about how we want to know why he goes back to Vietnam. Like, why is he in Vietnam? Because obviously they didn't come to Vietnam like the North Vietnamese and come and capture him and take him back to prison there. So they
Mm-hmm.
must have gone back there, and then they imprisoned him. But, like, yeah, one, he has a conversation with the commandant who is getting more and more invested in the story and
Mhm.
reading it like a screenplay, where he talks about how a spy is meant to be all things at once, like a comrade and an enemy. But, and I guess because he always thought, I am mixed race, I am both French and Vietnamese. I went to America,
Yeah.
I know English and Vietnamese. Like, he was like, that was his superpower. But it's funny that, like, I like the idea that, like, he's realizing that even with that power, like, there was no chance. He was always destined to be a prisoner.
Mm.
Like, he thought he
My
was,
f- yeah. Yeah.
because I remember
The
in episode one when his friend man is like, I need the full list of the secret officers
Mm.
because they will need to go to re-education, and he's like, accept me, right? And then the camera cuts to man, and man says accept me, but we hear the captain saying, like, accept me. So it's almost like we don't really believe that man believes that. So it's almost like he was destined to
mm,
always be in this position, which is a
mm,
bit sad considering what he's going through in
It's
America.
very sad.
I think mhm.
Yeah. But Kachi, what you can say, sorry, quickly.
Yeah, I think before he killed his friend, they had this conversation where he found out he was smuggling back expired candy,
Mm-hmm.
where he was talking about, basically had like a capitalism rant where he's going on
Mm-hmm.
like, you need to fully commit, you need to fully commit and whatnot, that you can't you can't be half breed with 13 households. Do you remember that scene?
Jesus Christ. Just,
And
just an
it's a new
insane
how you
combination of
have to
words,
how you
man.
have how you have to adapt and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I really
yeah.
I really like that scene.
But yeah, and I think the thing about the captain is that he's never fully, I guess he's never fully adapted, because he always
Yeah.
felt like,
Mm.
well, what does he say to his mother? Why am I half? And she's like, you're full of everything and
Said
you're not
you're
half of
Mm-hmm.
anything. So
you're
something along
you're
those lines.
twice of
Yeah.
I think he's,
everything or something.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like something along those lines. But then, yeah, I think he's never, even in America, when he was in America, I guess you can't, obviously, if you're an American, you look like that. You can never be American. But
Mm.
even in Vietnam, because he has this such his eyes are so obvious and so telling that everybody knows that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and actually, it's interesting because just to skip to my head, One's mother mentions in this episode about how, because she's like, "Why aren't you married?" And he's like, "You know why?" Which I guess implies that back in Vietnam, he couldn't like either marry or have relationships because he's a bastard, which is like
Yeah.
a whole different idea of his psyche. Just like, so this is another thing that not only is he a mixed Vietnamese person, but like because his parents were not married, he was probably, it's one thing to be looked upon weird, but it's another thing to like just be like, people are not going to marry you
Mm-hmm.
because your parents were not married. And that is so,
Fully
that's
a social
yeah.
outcast
So
or something that's not even
I was
a
going to say,
cult.
like, he's literally lived his entire life, yeah, like, which again kind of, not to like connect the dots, but like, it's again, is like his imminent betrayal, or rather Bond realizing about the betrayal imminently because he's already been betraying him, would be quite devastating, because the idea is that Bond and Man are the only ones that have actually fully accepted him ever,
Mm.
and like one is his superior in the communist fight, and the other one is in the dark about like the biggest secret of his life. So it's just like, you're betraying the only person that like really cared about you. That's, yeah,
Meaning of that
he
added
might kill
layer. Yeah.
himself.
If they don't kill him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's see what happens when he's in prison. Um, you guys want to talk about the Council of RGJs? Uh,
Hmm. I
Tamara
still
had
don't.
the,
I still don't get. I still don't get his character. It's still a bit confusing.
I thought it
which one?
was a very cheeky
RDJ's
version of
his
these.
character.
All of them look the same to me. Like, you know why people say
Look,
that everybody,
yeah,
all the
yeah.
black,
I've
I thought
I've
that
heard,
was their,
yeah.
so I like it, but it's a choice. It's a strange choice.
Oh no, it's definitely a choice. It's definitely a choice, and I think you're right about that point. I think they couldn't have, that wasn't the reason they did it. They couldn't have done it without realizing that was happening. They're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, everybody, like, all Asians look alike.
Mm.
We may have fallen for that trope just now in this podcast, but maybe not, because maybe you guys, maybe I cut it out. Maybe you guys don't even know what we're talking about. But yeah, but in this case, it's like, oh, all these white men look alike, right?
Mm, mm.
And
Yeah.
also nobody, because like, also nobody's like, at least so far, nobody has made a comment of like, oh, you guys kind of look alike, whatever. It's just like moving on with life, right? It's clear that they're different people. But I also think the main idea is this thing of like, they are all this different faces of the same thing, different faces of America, different faces of
Mm-hmm.
American imperialism, and all the ways America subjugates the rest of the world and brainwashes its people. Either it's through education or through film, and making all their Vietnam War movies about how America went to save Vietnam, or through
And lost
politics,
technically.
or through spies. Yeah, exactly. So like, I think these are the ways America chooses to, and every one of them thinks that, even if they don't think they're allies, but they think they have a Vietnamese consultant, or a
Mm.
Vietnamese friend, or a Vietnamese employee, or the politician is getting the Vietnamese vote, which is another very funny scene.
Mhm.
But I won't talk about that in a second, actually. But yeah, no, Kachi, you said you don't fully understand what in his character. Which
So I
character
don't
exactly?
fully like the original one, the one that we've seen, the one that talks
Oh,
to.
Claude.
Clock.
Yes, I still
What?
don't.
So let me see.
I still
What is
don't.
stumbling you
I
on
still don't
Claude?
get him.
I think I understand Claude the
Like his
best, but
motives,
Same.
like they're not clear. I don't think
oh,
so.
I think his
I know,
motives are.
like I know he works. Like I
I
know he
think his
works for
motives
the
are the
CIA.
same. For back to Tamara's point of like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I think back to Tamara's point about this being the normal spy story. I think his motives are exactly what you think they are.
Raw
Like the
USA.
CIA
Yeah.
going to
That's
this country, yeah, destabilize them and install America. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Whatever CIA agent you want to think of from whatever show or movie, that's his thing. He's like, get the indigenous people of this land, get some on my side, destabilize either the government or the community or whatever, and then we can install either who we want, or a government that is like favorable to us or whatever. It's always gonna be like just
More
doing the
far right
worst
than
possible shit,
from.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think he's actually the one I understand the best. Actually, I'm intrigued to know the filmmaker thing because the filmmaker one is a bit. It's the most direct kind of satire or critique the show is ever going to do. Because as we all mentioned on this podcast, the most we know about the war in Vietnam is by
From
watching film
American
and
content.
TV. So rather, yeah. So rather as Platoon or Armageddon or whatever, like Apocalypse Now, whatever is like. So this is the one time I'm intrigued to know what the show is going to say about the American filmmaker who goes to make his big epic Vietnam War story about America and Vietnam. Like what? So that'll be next episode, I'm sure. I'm intrigued to know
I
what
also
is what's the
find it
show trying to say
interesting
about that?
that
What's the show trying to critique about that?
they seem to be showing that he's a good filmmaker, that he's actually good at whatever it is he's trying to do. So, because the captain said as he started the script, he was back
Well,
home.
the guy,
So I'm like,
Who-
yeah,
Which
but
which 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 director do you think they're trying to make fun of? If you think they
I
are
think it's all of them.
oh,
I think it's all of them. I don't think it's make fun. But I think it's like it's Francis Ford Coppola. It's like I think Oliver
Spielberg,
Stone had
yeah,
Spielberg. I don't think Spielberg did Vietnam, but like also like it's all of them. It's like
yeah,
so I don't. I think obviously they've made this guy way more. Hopefully, at least for people like us that love these filmmakers, they made this guy
mhm.
more transgressive than these other guys are
Mm.
in terms of like what he's saying and things
yeah.
like that.
Well, did
But I think
they?
the idea still stands.
Did they? Or is this how they act?
Well, I'm based on the ones that we just mentioned. Like I want to hope that Spielberg is quote unquote one of the good ones.
Okay.
But my point is like the idea still
Random
stands of like
Spielberg
this is a
fact.
guy that
Very random Spielberg fact. His daughter does OnlyFans. That thing blew my
is he
mind.
gonna break my heart.
So, but
Wait,
He's
what?
his
what?
daughter is OnlyFans. I was like, well, damn.
Well, I didn't hear you.
His daughter is on
His daughter has an
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans apparently.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was
Does it
like,
take the
That's
need?
man,
very
What's
interesting.
the need?
Um,
all his filmmaking.
Part of me wants to ask how you found out about this, Tamara, but like I feel like that'll be a different podcast.
Don't worry about that.
Maybe we'll have us on our Patreon.
Don't worry
I
about that.
mean,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
go on IG,
we won't give out that information for free. But yeah, no. So yeah, I think I'm intrigued to see what they do, how they do it in terms of like talking about because he's going to be on set. He's
Mm.
going to be a quote unquote Vietnamese consultant. So it's like, what does that actually mean for for what's the show trying to say? What's the show trying to critique about the filmmakers who've gone and made their Vietnam War movie? Also, this guy's making this movie like at most a year after the war ended.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bros,
Facts.
let the dust settle
Facts.
first before you
Families
go.
are still in mourning, and he's
Let the
like, let's
dust
go.
settle. Let the dust settle. Yes, I'm intrigued about that. I think. I mean, then the show goes like the extra mile to tell her these are terrible people because we see the scene in the.
yeah,
I, I mean, I love when he goes, "Do you want something sweet?" And then the politician takes off his wedding ring. I'm just like, "You're exactly who I thought you were," and that's just great. That's great that you're exactly who I thought you were. And then obviously with that scene with the women and the shows like, yeah, these are just like they're white men. They're everything that you thought white men were and are from everything that you've ever watched. This is who they are. Um, Before we go, I want to just talk about the politician trying to get the Vietnamese vote in that scene where like
The
again it's
longevity
just like
party.
God man, it's
she gives her a knife.
the longevity party is the effrontery of white men. Like that's like basic research you do if you care about this culture. You like it's just like somebody would tell you you can't give them a knife.
Even if
Like
you
it's just
Yeah,
don't know, even if let's say
it's
you
just
didn't research, there was no Google back then. Let's say you don't know, you can see the reaction. The babe is literally going, "Why?" And you're still like, "No, take my knife. You will have it because Americans like knives." Like, what is wrong with you?
it's just white men just never fail to surprise you. Um, but yeah, and then I thought it was so interesting. I don't know. Again, this is me overreaching, but welcome to the podcast if you're new. I thought it was interesting because like he's losing the entire audience
Mhm.
during his speech. Like people are
and he's still
basically their
going.
eyes are glazing over, right? And then sorry, Kachi, what did you say?
I said, and he's still going.
He's
Still
still going, yes,
going.
but then he then basically starts saying, I can't remember the exact word I should have written down, but basically saying Vietnam make Vietnam great again, like go Vietnam, go, like
Yeah,
yeah
literally.
Vietnam, right? And then that roused everybody up. It's almost like, so it's like this thing of like country and what you're fighting for is like these guys could not care about this man 5 seconds late before, but then he starts saying this one thing of like how make Vietnam great or Vietnam deserves to be, and then everybody's just back on board. And I just thought it was like it just takes that little thing for him to become their hero, their savior again. And it's like I don't know if it's critiquing like the nationalist like, tendencies of people or citizens or countries, or this idea of like state over person and just believing more in
Mm.
the idea of your country and this false patriotism that especially Americans tend to have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Like this show makes us see that he's flunking. Like he's really flunking with these people, and then he just basically goes to. It's almost like I don't think this is what they're going for, but it's almost like, for example, Trump at a rally. If he's
Mm-hmm.
messing up,
That's
all he
what I
needs to do
thought they
is
were
say
going
"Make
for.
America Great Again." Yeah, and then like everybody's pumped up. And I'm not trying to say these Vietnamese people are at the same level as the MAGA fans, but like I think it's not even MAGA. I think it's a general
I don't even
politics
think
is
it's
so
it's not in I think it's
such a
worldwide. Once you hear, yeah, your
fan
country, you're
sport or
like,
such a like polarizing sport. Exactly. Once you hear your side, once you
mm-hmm.
hear your slogan, you're like fully on board, no matter where you were. And I just thought I
Mm-hmm.
was like, these guys didn't care about this man 2 seconds ago, but now he's just said one right sentence and they're all like right there for him. Um yeah. Anyway, there isn't much Sandra Owens episode, like we said. I feel like there must be something like a love triangle-ish
Because
thing
if not,
with
it's a bit of a
the
waste
general's daughter.
to not,
Yeah. No, I think
because
I think Joe definitely has a bit more to do as a come. But
yeah.
I remember in episode 1, I was like, even episode 2, I was like, this general's daughter, why is she
Mm-hmm.
here? She can't just be here.
And now she's wearing mini
They're a
skirts,
bit too familiar.
keeping bad crouch.
That was also
Well,
another thing. That was also why I was thinking like how much that was another reason why I was like, how much time has passed? Because you feel like it's not 2-3 months, right? It's like
mm-hmm,
this
mm-hmm.
is,
Yeah,
or maybe she
it's
just came on America.
significant, but I don't think
America
it's up
changed her.
No,
to.
I think they've been there. I think they've
Maybe it's
been
not to
there
you.
for maybe almost a year.
Maybe
Yeah,
she.
I think so. The
But yeah.
babies, the mini skirts. I'm
But
like,
yeah, that's
mm.
miniskirt. The mother is like, you think you're going to be in the front row of this picture with your legs
To the
coming
back,
out,
to the
you're
back you
insane.
are.
Go bag.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm more interested in like I don't know what I'm more interested in because I feel like there's something like we said there's something missing in this show for me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm more interested in one plot over the other. Maybe I care more about like the whole captain. Maybe I care more about the captain and his like spy craft than I do with like his personal life. Or so I don't know. I don't know what it is. I hope. I think I will like because like I like the first 3 episodes. So I'm still on board. I think maybe I will like episode 4 a lot more, and I'll be able to figure out what it is that has been missing for me
I think the
the
next
past
two
four
episodes
three
that's
I
episodes.
that's
think
what's gonna make it or break it. That's when we'll all finally know, like how we feel,
yeah,
because everybody's still.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 7, so
Mm.
like we are almost halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, Claude, how? Yeah, man. Also, eating choking on an egg is man. People that go to people that are in war are such strong individuals.
Hmm.
Imagine like killing yourself by like
With
choking
egg,
on an egg. That seems so.
I'm sure
That
Ghanaians can
seems
do
so painful and so long, man.
it.
Okay. I don't-
I couldn't help myself. I'm so sorry. Charlie, I love
Jesus
my
Christ.
Ghanaian brothers.
Oh, okay. If you're Ghanaian and you're listening to this podcast, thank you. I didn't know we had fans in Ghana. And
Welcome to your slander.
Tamara, yeah, Tamara's views are not views of the podcast. They're views of Tamara herself.
I love
So
boiled egg. I'm with them. As they
let's
have,
not. Anyway, okay. Anyway, I think we can wrap up there because I don't want to slander any more West African countries. But any final thoughts? You guys, anything that we haven't touched on? I think we kind of covered everything.
Let me see.
I like
Which is a bit
how
weird
at
because
the
this
end
is a
of
16th episode.
I like how at the end of the episode he's already dealing with the guilt of killing his friend. And I think that's the final shot in the episode where his dead friend is smiling with the burger logo.
Under the bag. Yeah, I think that's the
Yes,
final
under
shot.
the bag.
That was a good
Yeah, I
Yeah.
shot.
think that's the final shot. I like that.
Yeah. And hopefully something like Tamara said, hopefully something that like not necessarily that shot recurring, but just like the guilt
Yeah,
and what it does
definitely.
to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure he'll have to do
What's it?
other
Yeah.
evil things as well.
Oh fuck. This Park Chan-wook transitioned from a wallpaper into a forest.
Bruh.
Bro, his
That would
transitions
be
are crazy.
insane. I'm sorry.
The directing in this is the best part. I think that's a huge part
That's-
of why this show is so good.
Have
You
you
can't,
guys
even when you're bored, you're not looking away.
seen his movie? Yeah.
I've only
yeah, Tamara's
seen,
seen Old Boy. I
yeah.
haven't seen Old Boy. I've seen
Have you
Decision
seen
to Leave.
Decision to Live and The Handmaiden?
I've
Mm-mm.
seen Decision to Leave, yeah. I haven't seen Handmaiden.
I started
Oh,
it.
Memories of a Murder. Did he do Memories of a Murder? I'm not sure if that was him.
That's Bonk. That's Bonk. That's
Yes,
Director
yes, yes,
Bonk.
yes, yes.
Bong Joon-ho. I'm so annoyed that this Florence Pugh TV show
Let me find
has
it.
left my head.
I'll find it.
Let me check.
I only one hand. If
Florence,
not, I'd have Googled it.
Florence Pugh, Alex Skarsgård, Michael Shannon, based on the John le Carre novel. God, why is
The
this
Little
movie?
Drummer Girl. I think that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Aha!
Yeah.
That is it.
Oh,
I've never
so
seen
weird. Well,
this.
yeah. You should.
It's very, it's
good.
almost
Park
like they
Chan-wook.
didn't push it. It was very quiet.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I
I
think.
know
I
Sarsgaard
think
has never
he
been in
directed
any
all.
bad show, so I'm sure this is good.
Say again?
Skarsgård has never been. When you say bad TV show, or bad movie,
I said I've never seen him in any bad TV show. Sarsgaard.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's true.
That's true. I
I
thought
think
it
that's
said
true.
bad, like anything. So I could be like,
No,
In
no, no,
general,
you
no,
forget.
no,
I
no.
was like,
because bad. Think about his TV shows. Little Drama Girl.
Yeah.
Um, obviously Big Little Lies,
mm-hmm.
season 1.
Have you seen Generation Kill?
No, I haven't. I don't even know what that
H-
is.
Never
it's
heard of
Is
it.
that
old. It's from
Skarsgård?
like 2011. Yeah. HBO limited series.
Oh,
Oh,
fair
wow.
Deep
enough.
cut.
Oh, what's it on
Serious
True
deep
Blood?
cut.
He was on True Blood. That's
That's a
where I
serious
found
Deep Blood.
him.
What's it on True Blood?
He
Really? Yeah,
was.
I think
What's on
so.
True Blood?
I think so.
Season 1, it was just
He's
boring. Then he
had
cut his
cameo
hair and
appearances
became hot.
in.
That's how I found
He was on like
Fair
5
enough.
minutes of Mr. and Mrs. Smith too.
Mr. and
him.
Mrs. Smith. He
Yeah.
had a cameo in Atlanta.
Obviously,
So yeah,
Succession.
His Atlanta
yeah.
episode was insane.
Oh
Yeah,
Jesus, how did I
obviously.
That was
forget Succession?
it. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, so at least his TV. Yeah, he's good. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he always delivers. Okay. Any final things, Tamara? Any West African country you want to insult?
Well, Sierra Leone. No, I'm joking. I'm good.
Uh-huh.
I'm good.
I'm sure you could. Yeah. I'm sure you could find a way to do it. Well, maybe next week. Kachi, any final thoughts regarding?
No, I think
He'll just
I'm looking forward. 4, 5,
looking
6,
through your
7,
notes.
4 left. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm actually very intrigued in what is going on back in
Who-
Vietnam after he gets imprisoned. I actually want because I want to. I don't think the
Yeah,
show is
yeah.
going to end there.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe I don't even know, but I'm intrigued to just know
I
because
think
this relationship with the commandant
because
is growing.
there was kind of a miscommunication between his guy back in Vietnam, where after he sent the notes, he got back the notes and he was like, "Is that necessary to kill
Is
the
this
general?
necessary? Yeah,
Yeah, is this
yeah.
necessary? Sorry to kill the major." So I think episode 4 will go into that more.
Yeah.
The guys back
Oh,
in
actually,
Vietnam.
sorry. Yeah, I should mention because last week Tamara was like how she liked the general.
Mhm.
Let
Yeah,
me.
Tamara, fuck that guy, man. Fuck that nigga.
It's not that I like him. I get him. Man. He had a task to do. He did it. Now he's
Nah,
in
man.
America. He's going through things. You know, one of the
Yeah,
problems with
man.
this
But
show is
like,
I don't like how we only follow the captain. What's the general doing? What's going on there? You know, I'm intrigued.
yeah, but we get the idea that
He's
he was drinking and being a nuisance at home, and then he
become an
started his
alcoholic.
company. Yeah, Like his wife was clearly tired of him.
Mm. But now episode 3, the guy just angry.
But that's my own. Mine is like the captain called him and was like, "Oh, I've just killed this guy that we all worked with," and he was like, "Okay, write me the eulogy for him."
Yeah, he doesn't read
Like,
the captain
bro.
at all. The captain is
Bro.
he just is scared.
I like how when they're talking about how they need to become more American, the first thing that comes to their mind is just making money and starting a business. And
no, but I think it's like
the American
that's the
grind.
thing of like communism, though. Like everyone that lives under communism, like they find the idea of what do I know? Based on the things I've watched, they find the idea of like capitalism so interesting. Like it's like, oh, you can just make
obsessed
money
with
Just
making
start
money.
business.
and become the richest person in the world.
Mhm.
they're like we like parts of our communism, but you tell me we just go and just like become a billionaire. So like I think to them that is it though. That is like America. America is always going to be like you can be the biggest capitalist around. So like every show I watch, everything I mean, obviously most of them are written from the American point of view, obviously. But so you take that with a grain of salt. But like I think it's not, and it's not saying that capitalism is good because I think we're all on the same stage of agreeing on that. But like it's just like the idea that someone who's just never made their own money and you tell me I could just go and become a billionaire and not afford anything I want is always so insane to them.
Yeah.
And obviously there's and this was what 1970, early 70s, late 60s. The American dream is like in full effect at that point. Okay, thank you very much for listening, guys. Kachi, Tamara, thank you for coming back, and
No problem.
we'll see you guys. We'll all see you next week when we're talking more The Sympathizer with Oscar winner, BAFTA winner, first time director Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.
Bye.